Hello there, fellow homosexuals. Have you been acting a little straight lately?
Coffee? No ice today.
Straight! Let's remember to act gaily, daily, and share our power with the world by checking out the Are They Gay merch store. How's that worldwide agenda going? Are you meeting your recruitment quota? I know I am, and we only grow. Member of the homosexual agenda? Let it be known. Bisexual disaster? Be proud of your chaos. The town lesbian? Of course you are. Head to the link in the description or teespring.com/stores/r-they-gay. The history of queer allegories is one full of rich and beautiful works of the Western canon. You've got classic examples: X-Men, Frozen, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, just to name a few. But one movie never gets mentioned in this landscape of gay metaphors: High School Musical. The story of one young man struggling to reconcile his love for singing against his hyper-masculine jock persona. This story, a story about being yourself, a story about embracing the theater. Are you starting to get it? And while a heterosexual Christian rock story is at the forefront of High School Musical, I think that the queer subplot between Ryan and Chad is the real story of High School Musical. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ryan and Chad? They barely interacted outside of the lovemaking scene on the baseball field. That's what I thought. Despite my childhood crush on Corbin Bleu, I didn't even know someone could be unironically named Chad until last week. So I thought all these suggestions to make a video on Ryan and Chad were a joke. Being the confused bisexual that I am, I googled who the hell these people were, and I still really wasn't convinced that this would make a good video. But no, fellow Ryan and Chad fanatics, this goes deeper than Chad went on his and Ryan's wedding night. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, let me give a quick rundown. High School Musical is a Disney Channel original movie from 2006 starring a dude named Troy and a gal named Gabriella. Troy is a basketball star and Gabriella is a new student. They like to sing in secret together, but Troy's afraid that all his basketball jock friends are gonna find out because singing is gay. So they don't exactly say in the movie that singing and theater is gay. I mean, everyone who sings and does theater knows that, but the middle schoolers watching this movie may not understand the implications. There's an ongoing theme in this movie that suggests a subtle gay or queer allegory. Troy and Gabriella are both afraid of being labeled. They feel like there's a part of them that other people don't see, a part that's true to them. Gabriella is new to the school, but at her old school, she was always labeled the freaky genius girl. At this school, she just wants to be a person, not another label. Troy is in the clique of jockey baseball players who will all grow up to question their sexuality, but because of their position, there's this super macho attitude among them. The cliques at the school are tight and locked. No one can cross into another clique that isn't theirs. Jocks can't suddenly become theater gays. Just look at how Troy asks his dad for advice about him trying out new things.
Did you ever think about trying something new, but were afraid of what your friends might think?
What if you want to try something really new?
Interesting thought, Troy. If I were the dad, I would be getting ready for the coming out speech. Suit up, Pa, he's been recruited. Shortly after, Gabriella and Troy end up being outed, and the whole school is like, oh my god, people are nuanced. Subsequently, more people start coming out for drama. Now everyone's gay. What is this, Glee? And although High School Musical is starting to feel more like College Experimentation the Musical, there's a large number of people who are firmly against people discovering their sexuality, interests. Stick to the status quo? What is this, a fundamentalist Christian youth group? Seems a little on the nose, huh? Is it really that big a deal that some people like to bake or that some people feel a spiritual lust for James McAvoy? Like, really? The status quo? The straight status quo? Heterosexualism? Oh, but this metaphor just keeps going.
Did you ever feel like there's this whole other person inside of you just looking for a way to come out?
What is this, my high school years? They even use the word come out. How progressive, Disney. Troy says that he's always been labeled as the basketball guy, but he doesn't want that life anymore.
Sometimes I don't want to be the basketball guy.
Oh wow, this is powerful stuff, Disney. Really ahead of its time. Well, at the end of the movie, everyone ends up accepting each other through the power of friendship and neoliberalism. It's beautiful. Troy and Gabriella get to be gay together and everyone is happy. So we've established that High School Musical is kinda maybe a gay metaphor. And this framework tints the whole movie and to an extent, the franchise with a gay hue. The movie universe has established that the idea of embracing an unexpected passion is part of being authentically yourself. And that unexpected passion for Chad and Ryan may be each other, and their authentic selves, it may be gay. Is Chad okay? Like, does he need some slides for his projector? Because he really likes to project his feelings onto Troy. Okay, so along the path of Troy's self-discovery, Chad is Troy's best friend, and he's always at his side, telling him that theater is bad. Now, since this is a Disney movie, Chad can only say that musicals suck, and he has to leave it at that. But if this were real life, let's be real. If a high school jock is hating on musical theater and singing, what words is he probably saying? He's probably calling it gay. Is he right? Well, just kidding. Of course, not everyone who sings and does theater is gay. But there is undoubtedly a societal connection there that overcompensating masculine people like to dunk on. Literally. Is Chad himself gay though? Well, I don't actually think so. He seems to be into his girlfriend, so assuming that he isn't using her to hide his sexuality, there's a chance he's probably bi. If so, welcome aboard, my friend. But let's first establish that he might be bi. Besides the wildly inappropriate on-screen baseball sex during the second movie, what else is there to suggest that he may not be straight? So I mostly established the gay metaphor before and talked about how the whole jock/theater dichotomy kind of represents coming out and stuff, but one of the biggest people against the mingling of cliques, the person that felt so personally invested in keeping everything and everyone separate, was Chad. Chad is the dudiest of the bros. He's the cockiest of the jocks.
Especially our winter musicale.
And sometimes when he talks about theater, it actually frightens him.
It's all costumes and makeup. Oh, dude, it's frightening.
Now, dude bros aren't born hating costumes and makeup. Dude bros aren't born hating theater. A dude bro is sculpted and created by societal expectations. Chad wants to seem as straight as possible. He wants to fight anything remotely different, anything remotely gay. The idea of costumes and makeup, an idea very related to gay culture, makes him shiver. Bro, if you don't like makeup, that's cool. I don't like makeup either, but the thought doesn't make me shiver from fear. Anything remotely gay is terrifying to Chad. It sounds like Chad may have a case of internalized homophobia. Now, just because someone is homophobic doesn't mean someone is secretly queer. I reject that narrative because I was secretly queer and very much not homophobic. But there are a lot of people that don't know how to cope with certain feelings, and so they project that onto other people. It's also a common trope in movies and TV. Going back, when the school starts coming out in large numbers, Chad is firmly anti-coming out.
Suddenly people think that they can do other stuff. Okay, stuff that's not their stuff.
And to Troy specifically, Chad tries really freaking hard to convince Troy not to go over to the dark side. Chad is one of the biggest advocates of straight living. Everything in his being tries to get Troy to stay straight. I get if Chad's like Chad or casually homophobic, but to be this concerned about it, to spend every waking moment afraid that your bro, who you may or may not have a crush on, is suddenly embracing a gay lifestyle? Without you? But does Chad show any explicit attraction to men besides Ryan? Well, not really, besides this oddly handsy greeting. But what about Ryan? He's the embodiment of 2000s twink stereotypes. It's clear that Chad is a bisexual disaster just waiting for the right college sociology class to open his heart. But Ryan, well, he's gay. I'm sorry, he's just... Do I really need to say anything? So Ryan is the brother of the main villain of the movies, Sharpay. Sharpay is supposed to be like this spoiled, shallow, rich person that is the most influential theater person at the school. It's implied that she's popular and stuff, but no one seems to like her, so I don't really know the deal there. As I said, Ryan is her brother. Although Sharpay manipulates him to an extent, Ryan also really loves being a star and being the center of attention. So let's talk about the gay stereotypes that Ryan embodies. He loves theater, he loves fashion, he loves dance, he loves Ashton Kutcher.
Maybe we're being punked.
Maybe we'll get to meet Ashton!
Loving all these things don't make you gay. I'm sure the theater nerds among us know plenty of theater guys in high school who basically lived the gay lifestyle, but identified as hetero. But let's talk about Ryan. He isn't really a complex individual, but a character written for a Disney TV movie in the mid-2000s. Were all these stereotypes hints that Ryan was gay? Yes. Director of the movie, Kenny Ortega, is actually an openly gay man. He recently did an interview with Variety where he was asked about his movies and High School Musical came up. When asked if there was a queer aesthetic that ran through his movies, he replied, "Yeah, for sure. The character of Ryan in High School Musical, Sharpay's twin brother, we decided he'd probably come out in college." When asked on whether it was possible to have Ryan be openly gay in the movie at the time, Ortega stated, "I have to be honest with you. I didn't think at the time, and Disney is the most progressive group of people I've ever worked with. I was concerned because it was family and kids that Disney might not be ready to cross that line and movie into that territory yet. So I just took it upon myself to make choices that I felt that those who were watching would grab. They would see it, they would feel it, they would know it, and they would identify with it. And that is what happened." Oh, so he's gay. Ryan is gay. So he's gay. So Ryan is gay, right? So he's gay. High School Musical has subliminal gay messaging. Now this is obviously really important. Unless Kenny Ortega is talking about a flashing message every 3 seconds in the movie that says, "Have gay sex," he's probably talking about the gay stereotypes and moments that Ryan embodies. The way that Ryan acts, his interest, his presentation, they are all explicit and intentional cues that point towards Ryan's homosexuality. I could rest my case here, but let's see if there's anything within the text that suggests Ryan's love for Ashton Kutcher burns with the fire of teenage repression. How do the people around Ryan act? Well, Ryan's dad doesn't seem to be okay with the whole gay thing. When the dad first shows up, he's trying to have a typical father-son relationship.
You've been working out.
Yoga.
His dad seems a little disappointed that Ryan doesn't conform to traditionally masculine roles like working out. And when his dad notices his fashion sense,
Bring that around. There you go.
Ryan's hat is sitting on his head on an angle, and as we know, having taste is secret code for gay sex. But his dad moves it forward because that's what big, sweaty, heterosexual men do. This is probably one of the hidden gay propaganda cues that the director was talking about. What do Ryan's fellow teens think? I'm guessing they all know, but just kinda don't say anything. There's this moment in the second movie where Gabriella and Ryan are just kinda hanging out, and Troy catches them together kinda embracing each other. But he doesn't seem jealous, and the scene doesn't really have the tension you would expect it to. Usually when men and women in movies do anything on screen, the mainstream media immediately goes into hetero romance mode. But when Ryan's on screen alone with Gabriella, we don't get any of that. It's like everyone's in on it. I was literally waiting for there to be some drama where Troy is like, "Oh, looks like you have a new boyfriend," and then Troy sings about some stupid shit. But no, my expectations have been subverted by High School Musical. Did Ryan get a girlfriend in the last movie? Not really. He just asked Kelsey to prom and shared some nice moments with her. Maybe that semi-heterosexual influence had something to do with Disney polishing and heterosexualizing the film for wide theatrical release. Sure, Ryan and Kelsey bleeding love fan videos are fire, but let's not kid ourselves, people. Was Ryan gay? Yeah. But Chad and Ryan together, how are we to suggest that two people who barely interacted were actually a power couple? Well, most of the Chad and Ryan feel comes from one scene and one song, I Don't Dance. The question is, who doesn't dance? Chad? Oh, silly boy, Chad. Chad, no, Chad. Let's break down this cinematic and musical masterpiece into 3 sections. Number 1. The tension, the eye sex, the PG-13 worthy chemistry that would put Walter White to shame. Number 2. The allegory, the metaphor, the secret truth behind dancing and swinging. Number 3, the clothes switch, the raw passionate lovemaking, the embracing of identities. Before I get into the eye sex, let me talk about how Chad got into Ryan. To understand the gay tension, we have to understand what the hell is going on, even if gays never know what the hell is going on. So in this movie, everyone from East High coincidentally got a summer job at Sharpay's family's resort thing. Ryan and Sharpay aren't employed, as they're the kids of Mr. and Mrs. Gentrification, but everyone else from East High is there as a proletariat. Now, it turns out every year that there's a talent show at the resort, and Sharpay and Ryan usually end up winning. But the kids from East High want to stage a communist coup and overthrow what is mostly Sharpay's reign. They try to get nice with Ryan because they feel as if they could help him perform their gay commie show. Now, at this point in the film, Ryan feels manipulated and undervalued by his sister because she's trying to get with Troy and totally forgot about their sibling duo act. So Ryan gets invited by the gay Christian youth group to join a staff baseball game. And of course, Chad is there. Now, Chad is a part of the Communist Dance Party, but he's a little aggressive when Ryan comes. He thinks that Ryan will try to recruit him through the power of dance or something. And so we have the beginning of the end of Chad's heterosexuality.
If you want to play ball, then grab a mitt. But I don't dance.
Some people don't understand it. And to them I ask, have you even watched it? Throughout this scene, in which Ryan literally tries to seduce Chad, there is a palpable tension. The small glances are there. The way Chad smirks and sort of gives a playful resistance against Ryan, it's overwhelming. And when Chad says,
You got game?
"My God, no, I'm done. No, I can't do this," he gazes at Ryan up and down as if he's scanning him for queerness. Listen, when Troy and Gabriella sang together, most people in the audience probably picked up on their chemistry and their attraction, right? I am literally just doing the exact same thing. I am noticing something and a lot of other people are noticing something. I'm not injecting my agenda into this movie. Kenny Ortega already did. And then they grab some phallic-looking dildo bat as if Freud himself wrote this scene. This has to be some weird gay symbolism a drunk writer snuck in. What are they even doing? Is this a baseball thing? Is it a baseball thing to look sensually into your bro's eyes? Like, this whole scene is supposed to be competitive, but instead it's just Ryan giving Chad looks as Chad smiles sensually? I don't get it.
I'll show you how I swing. You never know. I know you'll never try.
I'm sorry, what? He knows? So he's like experimenting? Is Chad coming out? Is Ryan threatening him? Does he want to help Chad try? Oh, no, Ryan, these gay recruitment methods are getting a little old. Just continue looking at each other sensually and let it happen naturally. They also have an obligatory moment where they get too close to each other, but I think Disney cut it off before it got too gay for comfort. And some of the choreography is interesting as well. Does Chad not realize his motions imply that he wants Ryan to come closer? A little weird to want to enter a romantic embrace with Ryan in front of so many people, Chad. Well, Chad ends up winning the game, and Ryan is like, okay, whatever, I'm a twink, I don't need this life. And then Chad, poor old Chad, says wait.
I'm not saying I'm gonna dance at the show. But if I did, what would you have me do?
So Chad kinda does want to dance with Ryan. And Ryan is doing like this power move thing and just smiling to himself. Like, yeah boy, we got one fresh. What kind of smirk is that? It's so devious. It's so gay. In summary, Chad and Ryan really like looking at each other in the same way I look at Trader Joe's milk chocolate. And if you don't understand it, then I don't understand Gabriella and Troy. Prove it to me, nerds. What, Gabriella and Troy kissed like once? Well, Chad and Ryan consummated their marriage on a baseball field in broad daylight. So, dancing is gay. Sorry, I'm not saying that dancing is gay, as in you're gay if you dance. But you are. What I'm saying is that dancing is actually a secret code word for gay stuff. We established the gay metaphor in the first High School Musical, where the whole singing and performing arts thing was actually about being gay and coming out. Now Chad, while accepting of performing arts at the end of the first movie, never thought it was something for him personally. Chad was hardcore anti-dance, but now he's tolerant but absolutely against it for himself. It's no coincidence that the person who is clearly gay, Ryan, is also the biggest advocate of dance in the movie. And it's no coincidence that he's trying to get Chad to dance. First of all, let's just think about the structure of this scene. There's this saying in English that goes, yeah, they play for the other team. And that phrase usually means that someone's gay. So here we have Ryan, a character who was confirmed as gay by the director, literally playing for the other team. And he's trying to get Chad on his side. Any questions? Some of the phrases in this song just confirm the idea that this song is a metaphor. Let me explain. There's another English phrase that goes, I don't swing that way. In the phrase, swing means sexuality, at least most of the time. So for example, if you're straight and someone calls you gay for doing something gay, like eating a quiche, you might reply with, I don't swing that way. But in this song, they use swing in creative ways. The fact that Ryan is trying to seduce Chad is obvious. Ryan, along with the support of his community, sings, as if he should swing for Ryan. And then Chad says,
You're gonna slow there. I'll show you how I swing.
Chad wants to make sure Ryan knows that he's totally 100% straight, or at least he's trying to be. And then Ryan responds,
I'll show you how I swing. You never know. I know. Never try.
I'm sorry, are we still talking about baseball and dancing? Why are we giving Chad an identity crisis? So as we saw before, at the end of the song, Chad says,
I'm not saying I'm gonna dance in the show. But if I did, what would Jamie do?
Now instead of Ryan saying, I'd have you take me on a Venetian boat ride and kiss me on the lips, he instead says nothing, as if he's won. Chad wants to join the other team now. He's tempted, he's curious. Ryan knows he's won. The audience knows he's won. Is it not clear what's happening here? After a rough game of baseball, the bros Chad and Ryan went into the locker rooms. They had a hot, steamy, naked shower. And as they were ridiculously naked, they clearly chatted because when they changed, they decided, hey, let's switch clothes. Excuse me, why? I'm sorry, but really, what are the implications here? This is pretty intimate. I mean, switching clothes is the kind of thing you either do with really close friends your age with a similar style, or people who've seen you ridiculously naked. Now, Chad and Ryan barely know each other. They don't have the same sense of style at all. They play for different teams. Oh, are they confirming that Chad had joined Ryan's team? That once and for all he will dance? He is not a lowly heterosexual Patrick Swayze type dancer. He is a homosexual or bisexual man of culture. I'm just saying, it's a little unexpected. Chad isn't sitting with his GF and Ryan isn't trying to make friends with anyone else. They're sitting there, next to each other, talking together, loving each other's presence. Chad playfully hits Ryan on the head as if they were two high school kids with a crush. Wait. I can't believe it, but it's true. Chad and Ryan are probably in love. When people sent me this thing, I thought it was gonna be some weird one-off scene, but instead, it's the culmination of a franchise-long metaphor and the subtle codings of a gay director who just wanted to be seen. The gay metaphor, the gay man, the gay repression, the bi man, the gay acceptance, the gay coming out, the gay love. And while we have a mountain of evidence larger than Everest, I still have to ask, were Chad and Ryan gay? Were they meant to star in their own musical? When is Chad gonna tell his girlfriend he's in a committed relationship? What song will Ryan sing at his coming out party? Are they gay, bi, pan, trans, ace, or something else entirely? You decide. Thank you to my patrons. If you want to become a patron, click the link in the description that says Patreon. And now a special thank you to my super and supreme gays. Mally Drew G, Huda, Alexa, Polina Rakitska, Maria, Georgina Woke, Murray Uwu, Kale Jameson, JP Art, Carl Pal Duffy, Little Raven, Maddie Reyes, Whitney Welts, Alexander Bell, Cooper, Juicebox08, Abby Nikulin, Caroline Doan, The Kimchi Witch, Cucumber, AFK Bard, Feeler, The Foster 24, Ryro, Del Elliott, Charlotte, Alexina, Megalomaniac 64, Marie, James Sledge, Enar Dominguez Elvira, Anna Tchaikovska, Etienne, Jessica Carmona, Night Tripping Fairy,